It might sound completely insane, but what I'm about to reveal in this video goes against almost everything you've been taught about how to treat women. And when I say everything, I mean what your family, society, romantic movies, and even past relationships have told you. Machiavelli discovered this more than 500 years ago while observing the most influential women in European courts. What he noticed was so controversial that he never wrote it openly because he knew it would cost him everything. Today, I'm going to share 9 specific ways of interacting with women that may completely change how you see attraction. Most men chase attention endlessly. You won't. You'll position yourself so that your attention becomes valuable. And the final principle, my friend, is the most powerful of all. It has the ability to change your romantic life permanently. But I can only share it at the end, because without understanding the first 8, you'll misuse it and ruin the outcome. So stay with me, because every moment of this video matters. The first principle is the most counterintuitive, and this is where most men fail without even realizing it. You must behave as if you already have options, even if you don't yet. This is not about pretending, it's about internalizing abundance so deeply that you no longer depend on her validation to feel whole. When that shift happens, your mind operates from a position of calm confidence. And here's what most men don't understand. Women are always reading signals. She's not focused on your words as much as she's observing how you behave under pressure. One of the strongest signals she detects is whether you cling to every opportunity or whether you choose carefully. Here's the evolutionary reason this works. In the subconscious female mind, there's an evaluation process shaped by thousands of years of survival. It quietly asks, if this man gives me all his attention so easily, why isn't he in demand elsewhere? And if no one else seems interested, her mind assumes there must be a hidden weakness. Think of it like a marketplace. When something is constantly discounted and no one wants it, you assume there's a flaw. But when people are lining up for something, its perceived value rises instantly. So how do you apply this without becoming arrogant? First, never cancel important plans for her in the early stages. If you have training, a commitment with friends, or a project that matters to you, don't move it just because she suddenly has availability. Calmly say, I already have something that day, but I'm free Thursday night if that works. That single response communicates structure, priorities, and self-respect. Second, don't reply instantly to every message. Not to play games, but because you're genuinely engaged in your own life. Let some time pass, 20 minutes, an hour, sometimes more if the conversation is casual. And when you reply, do it with presence and clarity, without apologizing for being busy. Apologies signal guilt. Just respond naturally, as someone whose time is already occupied. Third, never give unlimited emotional access at the beginning. Many men overshare too early. Insecurities, fears, entire life stories, thinking it creates closeness. What it often creates is discomfort. She wants to feel that you're emotionally stable and grounded. Deeper vulnerability comes later, once trust is earned. In the beginning, some mystery is healthy. The biggest mistake men make here is confusing abundance with arrogance. A man with real options doesn't need to advertise them. He simply lives with purpose. His energy quietly says, my life has direction with or without you. If you join it, great. If not, I continue building. That energy is attractive because it carries no neediness. The second principle challenges most men because it contradicts the nice guy conditioning. You must treat her with respect, but never with worship. And there's a crucial difference between the two. Respect means listening, valuing her time, and treating her with dignity. Worship means placing her on a pedestal, excusing behavior you wouldn't tolerate from anyone else, and acting as if she can do no wrong. Machiavelli once warned that those who surrender their strength invite their own downfall. In romantic dynamics, the same law applies. When you place a woman above yourself, you remove tension, and without tension, attraction fades. Connection requires polarity. Here's a simple example. She arrives 30 minutes late without notice. The man who worships says, it's okay, no problem. The man who respects calmly says, my time matters. If something comes up, let me know. If it happens again, we'll reschedule. No anger, no drama, just standards. Her nervous system immediately registers this. She senses boundaries, and subconsciously, her mind shifts. This man values himself. I need to show up properly. Another common mistake is confusing respect with agreement. You can respect her opinion and still disagree. In fact, respectful disagreement often increases attraction. A man who always agrees communicates that he has no independent position, and independence is essential. So what does respect without worship look like in practice? First, compliment her character and actions, not only her appearance. Instead of repeating, "You're beautiful," acknowledge how she handles pressure or makes decisions. Character requires effort. Appearance is largely chance. Second, don't ignore behavior that crosses your boundaries. If something makes you uncomfortable, address it calmly and clearly, not aggressively, just honestly. Calmly say, "I don't like that. I'd prefer we handle it this way." And if it doesn't change after you've clearly communicated it, adjust your investment. Reduce the time you give her. Reduce the energy you offer. Let your actions speak louder than words. Women respond to consequences, not lectures. Third, learn to say no without long explanations. When she asks you to do something you don't want to do, a simple, "I can't this time," is enough. You don't need to justify every decision like it's a courtroom defense. Men who overexplain signal fear of rejection. Men who say no calmly signal that their time has value and that access to it is not unlimited. The third principle is where things become more complex, and this is where many men lose balance. It could be building a business, mastering a martial art, creating music, whatever it is, it must genuinely excite you. Not something you invent just to impress others. And once you find it, invest real time into it, not leftover time. Quality time. Second, when she asks about your day or your plans, mention your mission first. I worked on this project today, made solid progress. Then I trained, and later I have this other commitment. She needs to feel that your life was already full before she arrived, that she's stepping into something structured, not filling an empty space. Because empty spaces are heavy, my friend. They absorb energy and give nothing back. A full life radiates, and what radiates naturally attracts. Third, never completely reorganize your life around her in the early stages. If you have a 6 a.m. gym routine, keep it. If you have a weekly night with your friends, keep it. These habits communicate structure, discipline, and a stable identity. And those are high-value signals her mind is constantly picking up on. Now we move to the fifth point, and this is where momentum increases. The next ones are shorter, but just as impactful. You must treat her as if you could walk away at any moment without losing yourself. Be careful here. This does not mean threatening to leave whenever there's a problem. That's low-level manipulation. What it means is that your emotional stability cannot depend on whether she stays or leaves. When a man desperately needs a woman to stay, he begins behaving in ways that almost guarantee she won't. Fear of loss makes you overly cautious. It shifts your focus from maintaining your own emotional balance to managing hers. It causes you to abandon your truth for temporary comfort. And comfort without strength becomes suffocating. Women can sense fear, my friend. And fear in a man is instinctively unattractive because it signals that he won't remain steady when pressure arrives. Sixth principle, treat her with warmth, but selectively. Do not offer the same level of warmth to everyone. Adjust your emotional investment based on how she behaves. If she is respectful, consistent, and adds value to your life, give her more warmth. If she is dismissive or creates unnecessary tension, reduce it. Seventh, and this one is extremely powerful, treat her as if your standards are high enough that she must make an effort to keep your interest. Not superficial standards, but character standards. How she treats you, how she handles conflict, whether she adds meaning to your life or merely distracts from it. When she senses that you have real standards and that she may not automatically meet them, something activates. Her mind registers, this man doesn't accept just anything. If I want to keep him, I need to show my best self. Eighth, never rush to force emotional resolution in every small disagreement. Sometimes tension needs space. Insecure men rush to fix everything immediately because they can't tolerate discomfort. Grounded men allow space to do its work. They let her reflect, let her process, let her feel your absence. And often, after that space, she returns with more clarity and more respect than if you had chased resolution out of anxiety. Now we arrive at the ninth and most powerful principle of all. This one can change your romantic life completely if you truly understand it. Treat her exactly the way you treat yourself. If you respect yourself, respect her. If you hold standards for yourself, hold standards for her. If you would not tolerate certain behavior from yourself, do not tolerate it from her. Because here is the final truth, my friend. Women do not fall in love with how you treat them alone. They fall in love with how you treat yourself while still treating them well. When your self-respect is deep, it shows in every interaction. When your dignity is non-negotiable, regardless of how attractive she is, when your life carries real internal value, your energy becomes rare naturally, not through strategy. At a subconscious level, you are communicating something her instincts are wired to seek. A man who governs himself, a man who does not depend on external validation, a man who is complete on his own and chooses from abundance, not from need. Now, in the comments, I want your opinion. What works better in your experience? A. Holding firm to your boundaries even if she gets upset. Being more flexible to avoid conflict. Write A or B and briefly explain why. To quickly summarize everything. First, treat her like you already have options. Second, respect her but never idolize her. Third, be unpredictable but not unstable. Fourth, have something more important in your life than her. Fifth, maintain the ability to walk away without losing yourself. Sixth, offer warmth selectively based on behavior. Seventh, hold standards high enough that interest must be earned. Eighth, allow tension to breathe. And ninth, treat her the same way you treat yourself. Now for an important disclaimer. With influence comes responsibility. These principles work because they are rooted in psychology, biology, and human behavior. You can use this knowledge in two ways. You can misuse it to manipulate without care. Or you can use it to become a man so solid, so grounded, and so principled that you naturally attract high-quality women and build something real. My recommendation is simple. Elevate yourself. Build your life. Develop your mission. Become someone you would respect if you were observing yourself from the outside. When you do that, these principles stop being techniques. They become natural expressions of who you are. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay sharp. The next video will break down the subtle signals a woman shows once respect starts fading, and how to correct course before it's too late. This is content you won't find just anywhere. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, the man who controls his own mind controls his direction.